Colonel, I'm trying to sneak around, but the countless weapons in this franchise is giving me a headache. I want to scream. Here's one of the guns. Probably, if there's not a 1911 in Metal Gear, there's gonna be hell to pay. Anyways...
You, first gun?
Hold on.
Right.
Hello. And welcome to, I guess this is supposed to be a scene from one of the Metal Gear games. I've never played a Metal Gear. Dan's only played one mission of one Metal Gear. But I asked in a poll a long while ago if people would want to see games neither of us have ever touched, and y'all said yeah. So we're doing the obvious one. We're doing Metal Gear. There are a lot of Metal Gear games, and the Metal Gear franchise is almost 40 years old. Hate that.
Wow, I hate that too, wow.
You want to feel old? Holly Weed was 5 years ago. Metal Gear games are old, and they're also new. They are a fantastic story about a guy, Hideo Kojima, who makes the game, and nothing bad will ever happen to him, and he won't be fired. So we're starting with Metal Gear. And the first one is this the Beretta 92 full size?
Yep. Beretta 92 full size. Good guess.
I looked at the script before we started. And that was like one of the 3 things I memorized.
I mean, there's only a lot of these.
There's 80. It's a Beretta. I think we all know what a freaking Beretta looks like at this point. If you've been watching the series and this is the first time you're seeing this, I regret to inform you that your eye doctors have deceived you. You don't have eyes. They've actually put just like, I don't know, table tennis balls in your skull. You should probably go back and get your money back. If you don't know what a gun is and you're watching this series, this is what it's like. More ammo than I was anticipating. And if you are one of the sneaky sort, you can just go ahead and you can screw that bad boy on there, and now it's... Look at that. If y'all have ideas for rating systems, let me know. I was just like, we'll give him the alphabet. And then he's like, what? Like, this one's a K, this one's an M, and I'm like, that is hilarious. But no. So we're doing our standard... We're doing the standard S, A, B, C, D... Yeah. And this one is totally fine. For stealthy scenarios, and for 80s... For 80s, this is like the gun. You can't... If it's the 80s and you don't have this, I think they actually beat you.
They shoot you with it first.
Yeah. What, you don't know what this is? Now you know. That was a lot of bullets. I don't think he'd survive that.
I was about to say, that man is dead.
I'll give that a B.
B it is. Alright, we're going straight into SMGs with Mac 11.
Oh yeah. Not shotguns. I like the new item spawner. So many of the scenes just have the old one. I'm not... I mean, it's fine. It was originally sold, like, as a whole unit. This and this were together. You want to see something cursed?
Always. That's not even a question.
Single fire Mac 11.
Oh, that is cursed.
Alright, let's go ahead and pop this bad boy on the full. It is actually terrifying just how controllable this thing is. When you have a suppressor on it. Like, I could probably actually go all the way out here and... I hit the target. I hit the target all the way in the back.
Wow.
It did take all of my ammo. This thing's terrifying. It just spits out the whole magazine. Instant, when you have the suppressor on it, this thing is dangerously controllable.
This SMG is literally just gun go Bert.
Well, gun go because it's suppressed, but yeah, this is gonna melt anybody that you put in front of it. Big boss won't know what hit him. And with that said, we're gonna go ahead and... How does this work? There we go. How is it when the stock is folded up? Worse. When you use this thing correctly, it's actually quite nice. The problem is it's also just kind of... It's kind of dopey looking. First of all.
It's literally just a box with bullets.
Yeah. It's a B+.
B+. Oh, we're doing pluses. Alright.
Yeah. We've always done the pluses.
Well, the OG Metal Gear apparently doesn't take anything softly, because the next one is going straight to the M79 grenade launcher.
Right. Well, sometimes, you know, you need something like this.
This is stealthy.
I think it was mostly Metal Gear Solid is the more stealthy one. I think this is more like straight 80s action with a bit of stealth. Yeah, that's too short, but 100 meters is too far. That might actually hit the target. Nope. I just took out a target. Because, you know, like this site is built for like flat land. The moment you gotta start like figuring out like elevation and things, it's just, it becomes, oh god, what is that game? Scorched Earth. It's like, yeah, this amount of power, this amount of range, this angle, go. And then all that happens is you end up funky bombing yourself. Anyways, with that in mind, I am not gonna give this a G. I give it a B. It is soundly a B. If you use it as intended, it is totally fine.
Then to finish up the first Metal Gear, in case you had difficulties aiming the M79, we're going straight to RPG-7.
Right. Y'all already know how I want to shoot this thing.
Give us a whip.
Yes. Alright. Who do we whip? That guy out there. I missed. I didn't grab the spare rocket.
There's still something funny about just that.
Gotta hit the safe. What did that hit? Okay, we'll shoot this one normally. Oh my god, the whole shrapnel's coming at me. Yeah, I just completely lose visual on him. Yeah, I mean, when you use it normally, surprise, it's actually kind of like it works.
Oh, you're doing the sight thing, aren't you?
Yeah, you can go ahead and you can slap a one of them bad boys to it, and then we can get ourselves a rail extender. If you want a scope, you can get a scope. I don't have a rocket again, so we'll just leave it like this. I mean, it don't get much more simpler than this. It literally has one job. Take a grenade with a huge stick of propellant strapped to it. Make the propellant go whoosh, and make the grenade go kaboom. Welcome to A.
That is it for Metal Gear 1, and the only thing for Metal Gear 2 is the Stinger.
Well, we're gonna have to go somewhere different for that. That's an anti-aircraft weapon, and there is not an aircraft in sight. I really need the instructions. which is why I wanted to do this here, because this is the scene that has the instructions. Anton, where did you put the stinger? It was here. It was here. So Metal Gear 2 only adds one weapon, and it's the anti-aircraft missile. And all of these things, if I screw this up, I'm gonna have to grab a whole new missile launcher. Am I? I don't know. I'm gonna try not to screw this up. So what is it? You hold up, okay, and then up on the forehand, and then okay. Oh, there we go.
Okay, that was pretty satisfying. Not gonna lie.
That was awesome. Now we need a whole new missile launcher. They're only one-time use.
The whole missile launcher?
The entire launcher. This is just a battery.
Wow.
Yeah. In real life, you would bring this back, and then they would like
Drip feed it with a new missile.
yeah, because the missile has to be like wired up.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, there's like a whole like electrical system in here that would need to be
Not exactly something you can just do on the field, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is something that you have to like, I don't want to say special order because that sounds stupid, but that's the easiest way to describe.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just imagining just like, hi, I'd like to order my, what's this thing called? Stinger?
Yeah.
Hi, I'd like to order a Stinger from Amazon.
Hello, Mr. Bezos, do you have a stinger for me?
Bold of you to assume he doesn't.
Probably sitting in something like mansion, his space mansion.
Space mansion. His space colony arc.
Ah! Yeah, I need an anti-aircraft missile. How soon can you get that to me? 5 seconds. Huh. Wow, thank you. Up on this bit, and then up on this bit, and then the forehand trigger. You need a bit of room. The utility is cool, but it's also only one-time use. And there's also the problem, this is specifically anti-aircraft. It didn't work. The battery died like instantly. There's never been a weapon more G than this.
Our next one is the first Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid.
H&K MR23 Mod 0 with a laser and a suppressor.
Ah!
This thing is a brick of a gun.
It's specifically why they picked it for Metal Gear Solid. Because they don't need to do a lot of, like, model work. This whole thing can just be a rectangle. You can add a tiny bit of a grip extruding off of it, and then just another rectangle or cylinder extruding off of that.
Fair.
They picked it specifically to keep the poly counts economical. Okay. I'm not a big fan of the actual laser light. It's very kind of desaturated and washed out. But we shall make do. Can I actually... No, I can't hold it from there. Okay. Nice. It's not fantastic at the long range stuff, but I mean, in my defense, in its defense, it is a pistol. And, you know, at most normal ranges, it's pretty good. The muzzle flip isn't terribly pronounced. It stays pretty well on target. You don't need to use the sights because you got this handy laser. Laser and a flashlight, apparently. Yeah, like the profile's pretty good. The sight's pretty good. This is a solid A-.
A-. Got it. Alright. Next up is, oh boy, it's your favorite.
Oh, is this the greatest revolver in the world?
No, it's the Deagle for the 800th time.
Oh, right.
It is, in fact, an NPC weapon, yeah.
Yeah, so this is Meryl's gun. I don't know if she should be holding a 50 AE pistol, but, I mean, if this is really what you want. There is some heat behind this thing. I mean, no kidding, but I hit that distant target, no problem. I still don't think this is great, and a lot of the comments seem to be in agreement that this thing is not that great. The big problem is, as always, it's this rifle-style gas system in a thing with kind of a lot more mass than a rifle bolt is used to handling. And then it doesn't have the surrounding mass. Like, the mass is just like where all the weight on this thing is just all in the wrong places. The bolt or slide has a lot of unnecessary stuff added to it that a rifle bolt wouldn't have to deal with. And then there's no other mass on this gun to kind of absorb the shock of the recoil impulse of the cartridge, which I should add has about as much energy as 7.62 NATO. So you run into this problem where it flips like crazy on you. You run into this other problem where it's not loaded. I mean, like, it's not awful here, but I don't know. My prevailing thoughts are this is soundly. I don't know. We might come back to it, but the letters in the back of my head are like B-, maybe upper C. We'll give it a B-. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt for now. B-.
Next is your best gun ever made.
All right. Next up, for the greatest firearm ever made, it's obviously going to be the RS-15. This is a fictional gun that's an H3. I just think it's neat. It fires 22 LR. Yay! Yay! Alright, enough goofing around. We're obviously here for what is truly the greatest firearm ever made. The Colt Single Action Army. So we go ahead and we... Alright, we gotta give this... This isn't the right game, but we gotta give it a twirl, and then a throw, and then... That shot! Oh my god, that shot! That one. Oh my god. Oh my god. That was kind of dangerous. I don't even remember hitting the hammer. Hey, I caught it! Alright. Very kind of shallow sight picture on this thing. Alright, and then we do this. And we need to fire it in this manner, too. This is very difficult with Windows Mixed Reality. This is a disaster. Is it any easier in the other hand? Holy crap, that was disgustingly easy. Alright, now let's go ahead and reload this the way... That's probably the dumbest way you could reload this pistol. I sure hope there are no games that do that. I mean, it's the greatest firearm ever made. No. It's cool. It has a lot of style and charm. Part of me wonders if it'd almost just be easier to take the ejector rod out and then take out the... Well, okay. Take this screw out, slide the whole cylinder out, put a new cylinder in, and then screw it back on. That would probably almost be faster in real life. I don't know, do you have thoughts on this thing at all?
Not presently.
Okay. I'm fine with giving it a C+. It's very reliable. It's reliable to a fault.
Alright. Next is the MP5 SD2 with infinite ammo for the very easy difficulty.
Yep, that's only on PC. I know that much. Alright, so to do infinite ammo, we're gonna need to do a bit of a crossover conundrum here. What color do we want? Gray, red, blue?
Blue.
Okay. This is now in the way of the spawn objects button. Okay. So we're all loaded? Yep. Alright. Hit that ammo button and away we go. I'm sorry. I'm supposed to have infinite ammo. What happened? Is it because I'm not on the blue team? By default, does it... Do I need a second dispenser? Yeah, Dan, wrong answer. The correct answer is red. Red is your favorite team. Okay. How do I get rid of these? I guess they'll just stay there. No. Say hello to America's best friends who are joining us for the rest of this recording session. Should have just spawned the gray one. It's also dumb that in this map, there is a choice. Like, this is not your team, this is. Anyways, infinite ammo MP5. It's obviously infinite ammo. Yeah, no. You've got a new best friend. Because you're just for... You're for players who just want to kind of gun down everything. I feel like we're all cool with that, right?
There's really no way to blow them up either?
Not that I'm seeing. Wait! You
blew one up.
That one's on my team, so I can't destroy it. At this point, it's probably just easier to reset the scene. Okay, well, after that ordeal, we've still got the red dispenser, I suppose.
Alright. Are you ready for your next one, then?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
FAMAS, G1.
Okay. Oh, great, G1. There's F1 and G2.
Pick one.
We'll do this. I think that literally the difference is this takes its own... The one series, I believe, take their own, like, special magazines, and the two take static mags. I believe the G1's got the grip like this. So... Oh my god. Okay. Okay, this fire rate's coming back to me. Why is it so fast? Oh my god, even with that, like, it's still just a mess. Just kicking around like a freaking horse. A bit much. It's a bit much. B+.
Next one's classic, Akita. Or a guided missile launcher.
Ah! So you load it up there. We hit the on button. We grab the joystick, and then and now we just kind of guide it to our destination with the little camera. Yeah. It's a very slow-firing missile. Make room, make room. Like 2022, make room, make room. S.
S. Got it.
I mean, you can't get more accurate than that.
You really can't. Next up is the Spas 12.
This is another NPC weapon.
It is.
And we can fold the stock down. Yeah. And we can hit the, that button. Okay. This might come as a surprise, but when the weapon is used correctly, it's actually quite nice. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it gets like an A-. A. Give it an A.
A it is. Alright, that finishes the OG Metal Gear Solid.
Yippee!
Now we get to move on to Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty.
With oh yeah, and it's also worth mentioning, this is only in the Twin Snakes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Twin Snakes is just a remake of Metal Gear Solid 1. But there's Mario and Yoshi statues you can shoot in that one. Because it came out on the GameCube.
Then starting off for MGS2, we're going to use a USB Tactical with flashlight.
Oh yeah, this one you don't play as Snake. You play as Raiden. Not very helpful outdoors. Totally fumbled that one. So this is really kind of just the Mark 23, but without a laser. And with that, it gets a B. It's up there with the Beretta.
Alright. Next is the Makarov PM.
Ah, yes. Tiny thing, it fits in that, and if it... No. Give me that magazine. I did not spawn lock it. Tiny thing. Eight rounds. It's got its own suppressor. A bit bigger than the irons, which is a slight problem. I don't know. This is definitely like a compact pistol. This is not. This is not an NPC weapon?
This is an NPC weapon.
Oh. That NPC probably has a good reason to use a Makarov. But for a scenario like this, should Snake ever get to fire this thing, or Raiden, because this is a Raiden game, B-. Or, yeah, B-.
Alright.
With the D.
Glock 18C.
Okay.
Another NPC weapon. Most of MGS's 2,
It's old weapons, yeah.
it's old weapons and like half of them are NPCs only.
Well, I'm saying they're all old. It's all like reused weapons.
Yeah.
All the new stuff is NPC owned.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What's the saying? A bit much? Yeah, I would rather just, truth be told, I'd rather take a single fire pistol than an automatic one, but that's really about it. It's a resounding C.
Resounding C.
It's just,
Alright. Next is P90.
Interesting choice.
Metal Gear Solid 2 is just straight up. No sights, no attachments. Comes out of the box that way.
That's hateful. Raiden, why don't you put like irons on this thing at all? Or maybe you can put irons on it and we just like looked at a bad picture. I don't know. You could take a laser. You could take 2 lasers. Now you don't need a sight. You know what's to the left and to the right. Kicks like a horse. I don't know. Every time I fire the P90, I'm just not that big of a fan of it. It gets a C+.
Alright. Next up is AKS 74U with a suppressor and a side-mounted laser.
Oh boy.
There's a lot going on that one.
Well, not really. That's actually super flush. I like that. Alright, and then now we need a rail adapter. And unfortunately, the only one that we can get is this, which completely just absolutely dominates the iron sights. But we probably don't need them because we have a laser. Throw that on to full. Get the bucket out of there. Respawn. Alright. Okay, I have fired more than enough. That was an A+. That was awesome. Recoil is pretty controllable. The laser definitely makes up for the fact that the sights are covered on mine. Good fire rate, just good profile. It just felt good.
This one's super easy. M4A1 with a laser.
Okay, well, yeah, we don't need to strap any wacky nonsense to it. Look at you, you've come in handy so much today. This one's okay. This one's a resounding A-. There's a little more kick to it. Even, if I do get it, all the way up. Oh, right, I gotta... Oh, wait, did I do it? Yeah. Yeah, it just, it jumps around a little more. It's fine, it's an A-.
Don't get rid of the gun entirely, because the next one is the M4A1 with a M203 grenade launcher instead.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of M4A1s coming. Magazine's kind of extraneous at this point, so we can give it a 10-rounder. Yippee, yippee, yippee. Oh, hold on. I don't know, I'm glad that this is an NPC weapon. Like, I don't know, in my humble opinion, I'd rather just take the laser than a grenade launcher. That's a resounding, like, B-, probably. B.
Alright, now we're starting into Snake Eater, Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yeah, so that's everything from MGS2.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Snake. We're talking MGS3, Snake Eater. This one's a Bond parody? It's a Bond homage. It even has the fun theme. Can we play the Smash Brothers version of the theme? Not too much. Don't want to get, you know... Don't know what the... Nintendo might be furious about the copyright strikes. They are Nintendo. It's no doubt they're going to be.
Yeah.
Give it a whole lot of low-pass filters, so it's just kind of quietly off in the distance. Like you're listening to it through like a concrete wall. Thank you.
Amazing. Anyway. Our first one is the Mark 22 Mod 0, or the Hush Puppy, with the suppressor and manual action.
So we do that, and then we swipe up to lock it. Yep, slide's locked, and then we unlock it, chamber around, lock it again. Okay. And then we do that. I believe in MGS3 this is supposed to, like, these are like trank darts, which is why it's like semi-auto, or not semi-auto, it's manual action. It's also just kind of, it's fun to shoot it this way a little. Even if it does make every single shot a nightmare. It's very quiet. I've still got quite a few rounds. Tell you what, this is a good way to flip and get the most out of your ammo, because you gotta wait between every round. I don't know, I think we fired enough. I think it's just... It's a neat way to shoot something like this. And it's one of the few guns that you can actually do this with, and it was actually designed for that. You can literally just, you know, hit your thumb on this lever, lock it, shoot, the slide doesn't come back. Because if we take it off, like, so much of the sound of this gun is the metal sliding against metal. Like, so much of the gun sound is the machinery that makes the gun work. You know, if you can prevent pieces from moving and sliding against each other, you just drastically reduce the sound the gun makes. At the cost of then having to flip and work that lever every single time. So with that said, I think it's neat. It's a fun gimmick. I feel like there's ways to do this kind of a sound now. No. Okay, well, hold on. We're gonna put this aside. This is kind of a modern rendition of the... Where is it? This is a modern rendition of the well rod pistol. Kind of, sort of. So it's got a bolt back here that you manipulate, and then first shot, dead quiet. Eject, reload. Second shot, tiny bit louder. Third shot, ever so slightly louder. Fourth shot, louder still. And then by 5, it's almost about as loud as the Mark 23. Let me take the cap off and reveal kind of what's going on in here. So this is a series of rubber... No, get out of there. This is a series of rubber baffles that it shoots through. And as it shoots, it kind of chews through them. So if you want to keep it back to its original sound, you load new ones in, screw that back on, and then, you know, dead silent once again. Or, you know, you can take it out, and now you just have a bolt action. What is this? 32 ACP pistol. Surprisingly loud. You know, so this is after just one shot, as you can see. With that said, I'm gonna give it a B+. It's a neat idea.
Alright, next up, you were asking about it. M1911A1.
Oh, I'm so sad. I looked on the workshop, or not the workshop, I looked on R2 to see if anyone had imported the model from Snake Eater, or even, like, rebuilt it. They haven't. Snake gets a 1911, and then, you can call an NPC back later in the game, and he will go on for, like, a minute about all of the different modifications he did to his 1911. I'm gonna see if I can't find a transcript. Standard issue, Operation Snake Eater. Here we go. Feed ramp, polished to a mirror sheen, can't do anything about that. Reinforced match slide, can't do anything about that. Can't do anything about how it's built. Stepping texture in the mainspring housing, can't do anything about that. 3-dot, sight system, it's already got those kinds of sights. Ring hammer from the commander model, can't do anything about that. Dovetail grip safety, can't do anything about that. Extended thumb safety, can't do anything about that. Long trigger, can't do anything about that. A beveled magazine, can't do anything about that. Shaved down and recheckered magazine. Release button, can't do anything about that. Serrations on the front of the slide to allow for clearing jams, can't do anything about that. Whittled down walnut grips, can't do anything about that. Threaded barrel, made to accept a custom suppressor, can't do anything about that. And a blued finish, can't do anything about that. Okay. So, yeah, literally, none of these mods matter. See, in my head, I'm like, oh, you know, what are the mods? Oh, you know, it's gonna be like, you know, a laser or something. No. Snake was just like, I want this thing to look as cool as I humanly can. As cool as I can get it. And you know what? He's right. I don't need to fire more 1911. We all know what a 1911 is. It's a B, even though it is fewer rounds than the Beretta. It's neat.
Alright. Next up is the Mauser C96.
Is this an NPC weapon?
It is.
How did I know?
Because it seems too absurd to be used for main game.
Well, it's a Kojima game. I don't know. Maybe.
That's true. That's very true.
Kablam, kablam, kaboom, kapow. It always feels like we're firing the Mauser, and it always feels like we shouldn't be firing the Mauser. It's fine. Can you? I'm just trying to close this thing. It's cumbersome, really. It's a cumbersome way to load, but other than that, it is still 10 rounds of a cartridge nobody makes. But they're all weird, you know. They're all just like weird military men, so it's fine. They're probably their hobby is probably going home and building 7.63 Mauser ammo. Did you have a good day at work? This Snake fellow, I don't like it. I want to be in my room. You're always up there building Mauser ammo. Why don't you come down and say hi to your kids for once? Well, if my kids can fire 7.63 Mauser, I will. B-.
Alright. I'm going to say exactly word for word in the notes you gave me. M1928A1 Thompson made of bees.
Yep, there is a man who makes bees. And for reasons unknown, he makes himself a Tommy gun out of bees. So yeah, if you're gonna make a gun out of bees, this is a good one to make. A-. Oh, Metal Gear.
I'm looking this up now since you mentioned it. It's so Metal Gear and it's so absurd.
I know.
It's just so uniquely Metal Gear and Kojima.
Yeah. Yeah, Kojima was like sitting around one day and they're like, "Hey, buddy, what are you working on?" Bees.
Bees.
What? Tommy
bees.
Tommy gun made out of bees. What?
Anyway.
What the heck is this? Oh my god. Huh. How long has this been in the game? It's a 9mm AK.
I see that.
Okay.
CZ61 Scorpion with the anachronistic lower laser.
That's gonna be an interesting conundrum for me to take on. Because this thing doesn't have a lower rail. I don't like the weird bolt circles. They're like the things on Arby's drink cups that you press down. Alright. You don't get a lot of ammo in this thing. It at least has a mag release button, so it's got that going for it. It is resoundingly a C-. It's just at the ranges that it's good at, you're better off with almost anything else. You have so many other options.
Okay, sorry, I was just entranced with this stupid thing about the bee man. It just keeps getting weirder the more I read. Anyway, dude fires bees from his mouth. I don't get it.
Anyway.
Anyway,
Begs the question as to why you can make a gun out of bees.
I don't know. AKM. Well, I read about the bee man.
Oh my god. Yeah, this thing is crazy dependable. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna give this an A. Kicks around a lot, but in the settings that MGS3 takes place in, it's totally 100% acceptable.
Alright, A it is.
I was just about ready to ask, did you get that, or are you too busy reading B facts again?
No, I shut off the B facts. Alright. Patriot, which is an infinite ammo short armalite rifle.
Okay. So if I recall, what makes it infinite ammo is the magazine is just shaped like an infinity. That's it. Like, that is the canonical reason given in the game. Because the bullets have to travel in an infinite pattern, they are infinite.
Don't think that's how that works, but okay.
Are you gonna tell Kojima that? This guy wanted a boss fight where what you're supposed to do, and actually, I believe it's still even in the game, you hunker down for like a week, and then the guy dies of a heart attack during it.
I mean, you gotta remember that Kojima's also the same guy who's just like, listen, I want my game, the actual CD-ROM, to smell like blood.
Oh yeah, was that Police Knots? He wanted the underside covered in like a clear chemical that as the laser like scans past it, it would burn and smell like blood. And then Sega was like,
"You tell you what blood smells like." So. And
Sega was like, "You can't do that, dude." And then he went to Konami. He's like, "I want a real life, like month-long war that the player participates in." And Konami was like, "You can't do that, dude." And then he went to Sony and was like, "I want a game where you piss, more mushrooms grow, and you can harvest those mushrooms. I want a game where Norman Reedus sucks at the harmonica, but the more time you spend idle with him playing the harmonica, the better he gets at the harmonica." And Sony was like, "Of course!" I want a game where if you start playing it on your birthday, Mads Mikkelsen gives you a personal, like, video call message wishing you a happy birthday, even though he's one of the main antagonists in this game. And Sony they don't have the guts to tell him no. I'm impressed that Death Stranding ever came out.
Death Stranding as a video game feels like an anomaly. Like, anytime I see an actual, like, case of it in a real-life retail store, and I'm just like, that's not real.
No, it's not out yet. It is out yet. Okay, we have fired so many M4s. The only funny thing about this is that it literally has infinite ammo. Look, infinite! Look! Wait! Wait. Where's my wrench? Infinite ammo. Funny. Yep. This is weird. We gave the actual explosive launchers real grades, and we're giving automatic weapons G.
Yep.
Kojima would want nothing else.
Alright. M16A1.
My favorite fact about the M16 is that they were told that the barrel is self-cleaning, so they didn't pack any cleaning kits, and then the gun followed up. Because what it was it was supposed to have like a special like chrome-plated barrel that like the propellant, like the unburnt propellant, wouldn't stick to. So it's self-cleaning in that regard. But then they didn't have the money to actually chrome plate the inside of the barrel, and then nobody ever told them that, so they just didn't pack any cleaning kits, and they had to flippin' rush ship them to Vietnam. People hated this thing when it was like when they first got to fire it, because everything just went wrong. But it's fine. I think I'd rather take the M4s because you get more, room for activities, as we call it in this business. I'll give it a B.
All right.
We missed the obvious joke. We give the Thompson a B. It's too late.
You want me to change it?
No, it's too late.
Next up is the Mosin Nagant, M91.
Okay, I was about to ask. There are a lot of Mosins. I'm gonna need you to... Is this the one that's measured... Yep, this is the one that's measured in arshins. Which is, I think, like, the distance from, like, the tip of your finger to your shoulder. Very narrow, very, like, shallow irons. And that's all she wrote. Yeah, you get 5 bullets. Did that just clip through the floor? Yep, it's serviceable. I'd want more ammunition, or maybe just magazines. And I really don't know. I'm not well versed in Arshin math. I'll give it a B minus. It's totally fine.
SVT Dragunov.
Right. Cool. Awesome. Rad. Excellent. Perfect. Groovy. Radical. Excellent. And then at this point I'm so close that it's kind of hard to aim. And that's all she wrote. 10 points. No, this thing is actually superb. And once you kind of understand what most of this stuff means, and really you're kind of just looking at that little arrow up here. Oh, this was fun. This was A+.
And then last for our Metal Gear Solid 3 is the Stoner 63 LMG.
Drop that down. Charging bolt is on the bottom, and we should just be... Why can I single fire this? But no, you give me a Stoner LMG. I want this on full, baby. Yeah, this is satisfying. I love the slim profile. Like, most LMGs feel massive. Like let's compare this to the Fulton M60. It's very svelte by comparison. But I don't know, this thing is really nifty, and it's probably just because it's built out of, like, the Stoner platform is supposed to be kind of a catch-all for everything. Like, you can do an assault rifle, a carbine, LMG, and it does a pretty mean LMG. I'm gonna go ahead and give that an A-.
All right. That's the end of 3.
Okay. We need to clear some room. All right, we need to clear some room on that table, so we're gonna do this the only way I know how to. I would say that was a success. Nice. Oh. I mean, it did shove a lot of stuff around, but there were a lot of survivors. Make room. We're not done. We're not done. We'd be done if Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater was the last Metal Gear, but no, there's like so many more games. Clean the table. I have 100 hours in H3VR, so I think I know a thing or two about guns. If you liked this video and you'd like to see more, I'd recommend subscribing. Coffee and social media links are in the description.